Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the 50-30-20 rule and really the budgeting methodology behind it, how it's going to work. I'm going to also show you how I kind of apply this. And it is not something that is really set in stone, but it is something that is a living, breathing sort of a budget that you can use as a general rule to really guide your finances and make sure you're financially sound. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So the 50-30-20 rule, really a very popular way. The 50% is income that is based on needs. Now, we have talked about needs and wants before. When it comes to needs, and this is based on your after-tax income, which means you're already going to have your deductions for all of the taxes in there. You're going to have your HSA contributions already included with that pre-tax money. Your 401k contributions and your IRA contributions could be the exact same, that they are not going to fall within the 50-30-20 rule. It is going to be the after-tax income, which is essentially your take-home income. We don't base it on the gross, we base it on the tax, on the take-home that you do have. Now, looking at the 50%, which is the bulk, you're looking at housing, food, transportation, utilities, insurance, minimum loan payments. Now, this is one, guys, that a lot of people really do look at, making sure the minimum loan payment. So if you have 5 credit cards and your minimum loan payments on those 5 credit cards are $100, that is it. That is where it goes. Childcare, other expenses that need to be covered. Essentially, it is the needs to live. It is not, going out and again, breaking it into some different aspects. Is there's a lot of this 50% budget that you can really adjust. When it comes to food, that is really probably one of the biggest things that we've seen. Is food is very expensive right now, but it also depends. Are you cooking at home? Are you going out to eat? Where can you save money? Are you looking for deals? Are you using coupons? Are you looking for discounts? How can you get food cheaper? Now, transportation kind of falls into the same bucket. Are you driving a car that's $400 a month? Is it $700 a month? Is it $1,000 a month? What is the transportation cost? To include the insurance for that vehicle, to include possibly, warranty, anything else that make up the cost of transportation itself. And again, fundamentally looking at your budget, it should not fall more than 50% or less of what you're essentially having for those needs. Now, the next 30% of the 50-30-20 rule is the wants. Now, this is one of the needs and the wants have their own categories. These are things which, like monthly subscriptions, travel, entertainment, eating out, things of that nature, fall into the want category. It is not a necessity to have Netflix, to have Amazon, to have Disney Plus, to have HBO. It is not a necessity to travel, whether it's saving for vacation, whether it is going out of town. If it's for work, yes, it becomes a necessity. If it's for entertainment, if it's for leisure, if it's for vacation, it is not a necessity. And that is where people really need to break down this budget. Also, when it comes to entertainment, are you breaking it and putting it into the budget? You have to make sure, again, budget-wise, that you're putting that in there. The final 20% is savings and debt. Savings is the amount that you want to save away in that emergency fund or into the 3 to 6 months of that nest egg that you want to make sure that you're keeping there. Also, the portion that you're putting down on debt. Now, this can kind of get tricky when it comes to this very last bucket, because with the savings and debt, if you attempt, and this is what I see a lot of times when we do the financial counseling, if you attempt to put every dollar onto your debt, the chances of you racking that debt up or utilizing that debt again are super, super high. That the second that you need a little bit of money, you go right back to the debt, you go right back to the loans, the credit cards, the variable rate, things that are very expensive, versus having that emergency fund and really defining it, setting parameters around what an emergency is. So if you're driving home and let's say your tire goes out, you need $200 to replace your tire, boom, that is an emergency. If I overspent on travel or entertainment, that is not the time you should be taking money out of your emergency fund. That is the time that you need to kind of restructure where your wants are, really scale it back, even if it's only for a short time, and really getting a hold of it. Now, like I was saying earlier, this is not a complete hard set in stone thing. And what I mean by that is when you look at housing, food, transportation, when you look at a couple different things, if let's say your budget allocates, you're at 45%, covers all of your needs, 40%, whatever it may be, covers all of your needs, that gives you the ability to put more into the savings and debt category versus the want category. The want category is the very last category that you're going to be breaking into because, again, savings, debt, even when you start looking at investing, it is the categories that are going to build long-term wealth, and also the elimination of debt, which again is going to set you up for a much, much better future. Now, guys, again, the 50% needs, 20% for the savings and debt repayment, 30% for the want. You can vary this, like we were saying, greatly, making sure you have an emergency fund, making sure you're starting to save with a 401k or an IRA, an individual retirement account, but paying off the debt. We're going to use the debt snowball method. And I know I've talked about this before. It is really listing your cards from the highest to the lowest based on balances. Now, the reason we do this, I know there is really two methodologies behind this. One, you can do it from the highest to the lowest balance, or some people actually go in and do it from the highest interest rate to the lowest interest rate. Now, what happens with this, guys, is if you have a higher card that has a higher balance, let's say my highest card that has the highest interest rate also does have the highest balance. A lot of people psychologically will get frustrated because they're not seeing that balance move as fast as they should be or as fast as they think they should, because, again, the factor is not there. So if I have 5 bills that are all stacked up and the top one is the lowest balance, that is one that is going to be the easiest to eliminate by putting extra money on there and trying to get that bill down, paid down, and get that bill completely out of the budget. That way you can snowball it right down into the next bill, into the next bill, into the next bill, until the bills are completely eliminated, guys. Now, this includes everything but the home. The home actually comes more later in life when you look at the budgeting. Paying down and paying off the home is when you do not have any debt at all. That means no loans outside of the mortgage, no cards with balances, no balances on any of your vehicles, meaning you have free and cleared paid off cards. Because essentially what you're doing is, if you're paying on things like credit cards, if you're paying on things like auto loan, there is a portion of the payment that is going towards interest. When that portion is going towards interest, you're paying more than you need to. If you could just make 0% interest, make those principal payments, very fast to pay it off. But when you have a credit card that's, let's say, at 23% interest, it is going to take a lot more to really pay that off. And getting down and getting rid of that debt is really the big priority. All right, guys, so that'll do it today for our 50-30-20 budgeting rule. Make sure that you do adhere to it. Make your budget, use an app, write it down. I recommend writing it down on paper, making sure that every dollar does have a purpose. You know what it is for. But again, that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.